Welcome back to part 2 of my dive trip across England. In this episode, we're deep in Cornwall filming with a celebrity chef in pursuit of speared fish. Who are you, Mike? What are we doing?
I'm Mike Robinson. We're filming Fishing the Wild for Outdoor Channel in the US. And today we brought my old boat down to Falmouth Harbour. And me, Joe the cameraman, Joe Pike, Dan the man behind the camera, we are going out to various marks. We're going to look for cockles, sea bass, wrasse, whatever. But if it's edible, this is a food gathering trip, so we can't wait. And the conditions are peachy. We've got flat calm, no wind, overcast. We're going to go for it today.
Hello, Maverick.
Hey.
Tell me about this wetsuit you've got on there, Joe. It's got a huge stick on it.
Oh no. Well, I'll tell you, there is nothing like being able to wee outside of your suit in your suit. You cannot beat it.
The first task for the day was to try and film a sequence with some pollock getting speared. Heading straight to some pinnacles, we were feeling very confident. Some would say Joe has the easy job here, just having to shoot the fish at 17 meters while I'm there setting a custom white balance, framing up and trying to grab focus, all while concentrating on what's going on.
That was an immense dive, so exhilarating. Got down to the bottom and, well, glided right down this pinnacle to the base in about 15 to 17 meters. And the fish were just swirling around. But this standout fish actually came from the opposite direction. High in the water column, he came right down and then drifted away a bit, but I managed to get the shot in and good holding shot. And I cannot wait to have this cooked by a professional chef.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. It's a beauty.
Nice fish, mate.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I haven't speared a fish in ages.
I tell you what, people, try to use this giant camera to film this. It's not the easiest thing in the world, especially when you want to talk underwater and say, shoot the damn fish, so I don't have to hold my breath so long.
Sorry, Dan.
It's the price of content, isn't it, boys?
Yeah.
With the pollock sequence in the can, it was time to grab a few more for the icebox. When you land on a large expanse of kelp like this, it's often hard to know where the fish might be coming from. I knew from the sounder I was close to a drop-off up current, so I kept my gun pointing in that general direction in hopes that a pollock would be prowling on the edge.
After a fair bit of swimming, I finally found the fish. Not the world's biggest pollock, but
Tasty dinner.
yeah, sound of the shot was the last thing you'd ever experienced, so
That's a great shot.
I think the meat will be in pretty good condition.
We drove up current so that we would land right at the base of the pinnacle we had dived earlier. There should have been ample time for the pollock to settle after Joe's fish. I had swapped to a slightly longer gun this dive, knowing I could potentially be trying to spear some 10-pound plus pollock at range. My 110 made short work of this one.
What, they're in there? Nice fish, mate. Show us yours. They're like pigeon pears, aren't they?
A swift brain and bleed to preserve the eating qualities, and then back down for one last dive. I was about to head back to the surface until I caught a glimpse of this cheeky pollock spying on me through the kelp.
Just a loner.
The call was made to head somewhere shallower for Mike to try his hand at gathering some scallops. If you've never seen scallops before, they can be quite difficult to see until somebody points them out to you. After that first one though, they tend to keep flowing. Mike was frothing to get his first scallops into a pan later on. This is what I mean by difficult to spot at first. There isn't too much giving this one away. However, the ghillie suit that this scallop was sporting wasn't fooling anyone. Oh look, another tasty linguine crab marching along the seabed. After collecting a dozen scallops and this whopping spider crab, Mike was pretty spent, so we called it a day. Very nice day out with the boys for fishing the wild. They wanted to get some pollock, and it looks like we succeeded. We got a couple nice ones each. I did see a really nice bass today, but unfortunately with the small gun, just wasn't confident on the shot. But it was good to get some big ones on film with the big camera. Not an easy task, but Joe's done pretty well in getting that one.
It was amazing.
Show us what you got, Mike.
He's what they call a stud, isn't he? I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Cornish king crab, boys. I have to say, watching you two dive as a team was really awesome. As a total beginner like I am, it was just inspirational. And to go down there in 15, 18, 20 at one point meters.
Yeah, on the wreck, 21.
Yeah, that was
21
epic.
wreck, yeah.
And you seem to come up with fish every time. So phenomenal day out. Weather's gone grizzly.
It's Cornwall, isn't it?
Back for fish and chips, eh?
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Homemade.
Homemade fish and chips.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Just finished dicing all the pollock up. Gonna take the pin bones out and then pack these down into vac bags. Some frames there we're gonna throw back in the sea tomorrow. The barbecue is cooking. Time to get some food into us because I am bloody starving after today. Day 3 of diving. We didn't get any bass yesterday, so today we're hoping to get some bass. And Joe's going to take us to some super secret spots, aren't you, Joe?
I am. Top secret locations on what should be the lizard. Very, very rugged, clear water. Lots of hiding holes for bass.
What's the biggest bass you shot there?
2 kilo.
We've done really well for the weather this trip. Sunny day today. Got the dreadnought. Hopefully go get some bass today because we didn't get any of those yesterday. Big Mike wants to cook up something pretty special tonight, and I'm happy to facilitate that. With the strong winds blowing, we were restricted to diving close to the coast and couldn't head offshore.
Nothing. You see the school of Pollack?
Nope, just a shit ton of sand eels.
Alright.
Next spot.
Yep.
Despite our best efforts trying to locate bass, all we could seem to find were these droves of average-sized pollock. While these are fine to shoot and nice to look at, they weren't exactly what we came out for today. Joe made the call to try some very shallow diving right in the stringweed, a type of diving I loathe entirely. The basic technique here is to swim very silently through the stringweed to try and find the bass resting or just slowly cruising around. However, one flinch and they are gone. The motion on the surface makes it very hard to keep the gun still, and the profile of the fish is drastically reduced when you're shooting straight down on top of them. This place had a lot of school-sized fish around that 1.5 kilogram mark. After several failed attempts, I finally had one in the bag. One down, one to go. This is my fair warning to you. What you're about to see happen next is awfully painful. What a painful experience that was. I think it's target practice for me. Upon returning to the boat, it was clear Joe Pike didn't share in any of my frustrations.
So that was another very, very exciting hunt. Changed up tactics a bit and started looking for the bass in the weed, as we were only seeing very small schooly bass in the water column, and found a couple. This one managed to cruise down over the weed, and he just came out from and started drifting away and put a spear in. So really excited for this to be cooked by, well, a professional chef.
And I never want to hunt bass in weed again, because I think I missed at least a dozen times then. But I ended up with 2 fish that are just schooly fish, but they're bass nonetheless. I'd stick to shooting them on a deeper spot. It's just much easier.
Cook them?
Yeah. Back at the gaff, Mike had been super busy preparing to film the pollock cook-up for when we got back.
A lot of people think that pollock is just not as good a fish. Subpar fish. Yeah, subpar fish. I don't agree. I think it's a lovely fish. So you just keep at it. Now I've got
the pollock fillets were seared in the pan with butter, and the sauce was bourguignon with sea purslane and cockles.
Exploding. One of my favourite little bivalves, delicious beyond belief. I bought them from a little stall in Mevagissey Harbour. Love cockles, they're fantastic. Now, warming them through. Alright. So that's like a sea purslane beurre blanc with cockles.
It smells amazing.
And I'm going to use the prettiest looking piece of fish coming in. Don't miss this. And there you go, boys. Simple little dish, seconds to make. Some sea vegetables, some cockles, and a stunning piece of pollock, courtesy of one of you two.
Do those words again?
It was of course delicious, but that was just the appetizer that Mike had prepared for us before the main event, bouillabaisse.
It's getting a bit steamy here.
What have we got here?
This is a bouillabaisse. And
I've just filleted tons
vital
of
ingredient.
and all sorts.
what isn't here?
So, and this is...
I'm not the chef.
So what's going on here is we are making bouillabaisse, proper bouillabaisse. So I've got conger eel, gurnard, chunks of cut straight down through the body of the cleaver, and tomatoes, saffron, olive oil, garlic, onions, fennel, celery, and some red peppers. And what I'm doing with this mouli or food mill is shoving all the cooked fish, bones and all, through a fine plate. So there'll be no bones, but every bit of flavour. Oh, there we go. Right, that is pretty decent looking there. That is essence of fish soup.
It looks very rich. Very, very rich.
Dad, come and have a look here. So here we've taken some big Jersey Royal potatoes and I've poached them in the boiling fish broth until they're just soft, which they are. And we're going to slice them up, put them on the bottom of the bowl. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to thin this down a tad. This is fish stock. You can see I've got red mullet and whiting in there and a bit of gurnard. Just thin her a little so she goes away. There we go. Oh, it's like La Belle France. So I'm going to taste it for seasoning.
I'm going to get my job. There's an exceptionally fat one there in the middle.
Oof! This is our bouillabaisse. We've got saffron cooked potatoes, put some cockles on them. We ladle in, Joe being particularly coordinated tonight, we ladle in the fish broth that's so much blood and sweat. And then we can start. Joe, would you grab the fish pan, please, old bean?
Loads of red mullet on there.
And I'm now going to float some fish in it. But hold on to it though, please.
It's like a very delicate operation.
Well, you know, you just got it's full of love. That's the key. It's got to be full of love.
Full of Mike's love.
It's a dish that took I started cooking about 3 hours ago, but it will be good, I promise you. And then what we do is we take a little bit of toast on each one, like so. Joe's got the priority right. Classic thing to serve with bouillabaisse rosé in the south of France. And I'm going to anoint each one with rouille. Anoint each one with rouille.
Cheers.
Cheers, Joey. There we have it. Classic bouillabaisse. All right, kids, let's tuck in.
Lovely.
So, darling,
Thank you.
this is like a celebratory end of week meal.
What was that, Joe? Nicest meal you've ever had?
Yeah, this is incredible. Because I love seafood. At least seafood is my favourite thing. But in here, it's like a seafood, like a dip, isn't it? And the best seafood: the red mullet, the gurnard,
Everything's going on.
the conger, the scallops. Everything's going on, and it's enveloped by this sauce, which is absolutely knocks your socks off. It is.
I would try and say something else, but it's not going to be better than that. Join us next time where we head east to Joe's backyard in South Devon in pursuit of cleaner water. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notified when that video goes live, and I'll see you on the next one.